So this video will appeal to a very small subsection of my audience, specifically subsection that cares about or even fucking knows about the Procrastinators podcast. Shout out to my individual Flanthony. But fuck it, alright? I'm the goddamn boss here. I own this fucking YouTube channel. I own youtube.com/MattMcMean, motherfucker. And I'll do what the fuck I want. If you don't want to watch this video, don't fucking watch it, alright? But you should leave a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter @RealYoungMayo, okay? But also, though, I am planning on marketing this on Twitter to the Procrastinators. So hopefully at least one of them is watching. And if you are, if one of the Procrastinators watching this video, you may be tempted to think, oh, okay, well, clearly this guy's a fan. So even the lower ranked Procrastinators, he must like him quite a bit. That's where you're wrong, motherfucker. This is also my trademark, by the way. If you're watching this Procrastinators, you know, you're trying to scout me to join the Procrastinators, obviously. This is my trademark thing, is my finger gun, because I'm going to fucking shoot you in the face. With the criteria I'm using, I'm judging them, you know, judging these people, weighing their hearts on the scale like fucking Anubis or whatever. Their solo content, you know, shit they do on their YouTube channel, or comics or fucking whatever. Their appearance on the podcasts, or just general Procrastinators content. And just their, you know, their undescribable essence, the spirit of their character, the fucking bullshit of hell, you know, pretty much. And that's, you know, just get right into it. There are 9 Procrastinators, as far as my research has shown, which is their YouTube description, which counts Endless Jest, despite his actual being in the group. I don't really know the status of that anymore, but YouTube says that's what it is, so that's what it is, I guess. So number 9, unequivocally the worst procrastinator. Definitely the only procrastinator I outright dislike, and that's Tommy Oliver, a.k.a. Rebel Pixels, a.k.a. Tom Oliver, a.k.a. Dumbass Bitch. Now, my exposure to Tom's oeuvre is not very deep or very wide. In fact, it was but a single video of his that I watched, which kind of stopped all interest in pursuing his stuff further, which was his Wolfenstein 2 ad video, where he did the old, well, this is a really irresponsible ad campaign because the left is calling everyone they don't like Nazis, you know? Like, fucking Richard Spencer got punched. He's not even a Nazi, because he says, okay, well, the shit about Richard Spencer he didn't say, but all the rest is basically what he said, which is dumb as hell. And that, in combination with some of his political outbursts on the podcast, make his politics suspect to a person such as myself, who, you know, fuck Nazis individuals such as myself. Makes me not like him. Casts all of his jokes in a bad light. And his presence on the podcast, even before I started questioning his character, certainly wasn't anything to write home about. So I don't think I'm too super biased in that regard. And he's ugly. So, but, you know, me calling someone ugly, how can you even refute that, honestly? So yeah. But number 8, I got the Devu, aka the Devu Collective, aka I don't even, Dave? Is that his? I would assume that's his name. But yeah, Devu. I have explored none of his like original solo work, partially because, from what I understand, most of it is brony shit and old, and he hasn't actually worked too much on his own videos because he's doing editing stuff for Digi. which may or may not be true anymore, but, that's the last I heard of it. His contributions on the podcast range from mediocre to kind of cringeworthy at times. Because, the Procrastinators podcast isn't exactly a place for in-depth discussion or analysis, as much as Nate tries to make it sometimes. And if it does kind of turn towards that direction, it's not. Devu mostly analyzes media, as far as I'm aware. Not necessarily going too far into the fucking philosophical side of things. So, his intellectual comments are generally middle of the road or whatever. And when he tries to take comedic charge, a lot of times it comes off as kind of clumsy. I get the impression, obviously this is just my opinion as a viewer, but I get the impression that he's a little socially awkward, at least in regards to jokes. At the very least, his sense of comedic goodness isn't necessarily up there. I'm sure he can have a hell of a conversation with you about Mario fucking Luigi Superstar Saga. But, yeah. So, I definitely don't dislike Devu, but it's more just like, slightly uncomfortable to be around. Number 7, I have Lethal Aurora Mage, aka Mage, who I have no opinion on. I tried to look at her channel, but it seemed to be mostly like speed draws or something. With the exception of the Naru cast that she did with Mumkey, which was really funny, although that was mostly, spearheaded by Mumkey. Other than that, she doesn't seem to do anything that appeals to me. And when she's on the podcast, which is kind of rarely, she is very quiet. I don't think I've ever heard her, try to tell a joke in the boisterous way or whatever that pretty much all the other members do. Just generally is not very memorable. Like I said, not really any opinion either way. Kind of just forgettable, I guess. To repeat myself, which I often like to do, just for emphasis, just so that you make sure, I make sure that you know that I don't respect her just because she's a woman, alright? I may be an SJW commie cuck, but I'm still edgy, you understand? It's me, Ricky Gervais. I'm gonna kill your family. Number 6. This is a big jump up in quality. These next 6 fellas, I like a roughly similar amount. And honestly, some of the ratings are kind of arbitrary. So, definitely these guys, if you're watching this video, don't take offense. Because I'm a fan, honestly. I swear, dude. Please invite me to the Procrastinators podcast, dude. Aw. Number 6, I have Munchie, aka Munchie Jones. Now Munchie's solo video work, I haven't really watched very much of, with the exception of a little bit of Stealing Your Dad, which is a little too avant-garde for my taste. And the rest of it mostly being arm retrieval and other Homestuck stuff, which I don't know the first thing about Homestuck. So I feel like I would just be completely lost watching arm retrieval, given Munchie's fucking other comedic craziness that attached to weird references to a weird thing I know nothing about. Seems like that wouldn't go too well for me. I would probably die. His contributions on the podcast, however, are pretty consistently great. Not consistently, definitely consistently good. Sometimes great when it's more of a goofier episode. And he generally keeps things interesting. And in my opinion, the Parkour Dude 91 fucking lecture is probably the best thing the PCP ever done did. in my opinion. Plus, he is fat. He's got a neck beard. He is of a younger persuasion. He likes $1 Million Extreme. So basically, he's like my Mexican younger brother. Which I can, why don't you, if you're watching this, buddy, maybe you want to get that checked out. Do a DNA test. And we'll look at the results. Number 5. Ooh, number 5. I'm gonna have to put fucking... Sorry, just had to remember actually what I did the rankings. Number 5, I have Best Guy Ever, aka Nate, aka Nate Best Man. Is that a funny joke? Write in the comments if you think the AKA thing is a funny joke that I should keep doing for the rest of them. And then I will see in the comments whether to do it for numbers 4 through 1. Nate is, probably other than Digibro, the PCP member whose work I have watched the most of. Which is helped by the fact that he has comparatively very little. Actually, I was introduced to him slightly before the PCP, or before I became aware of the PCP, through like that anime rap challenge that people were doing. I think I maybe saw him challenged in like a Mother's Basement video where he did it, which, I fast forwarded through that shit because oh my god. But yeah, I like Nate's solo work a decent bit. Obviously, his more crazily edited videos are a lot of fun. And even more recently, Wiagawa is a bit hit or miss, in my opinion. It depends on the topic he's going on. For me personally, obviously. And the, whole tacked on Twitter comments and mailbox thing and letters and all that makes it feel a little bloated. But I do like kind of the skits and energy he packs into like the first few minutes of them at the very least. And Mia Mafova, of course, is, or was, I guess, incredibly influential to me, where I actually did a thing for that last year, which I deleted the announcement for, and I don't actually know if I kept to it. But there was that period, like last year during August, where I made a shit ton of videos, and that was partially why. His contributions on the podcast are definitely, well, yeah, they're good, definitely on the whole. He's very quick with a joke. He is kind of the host, or at least he was. Now they're kind of trying to move away from that, but he still dominates everything when he's actually in the podcast. But he does kind of lead the conversations generally, and I think he does a good job of it, and he's very funny. Only dark spot is when his politics rear their head, which is definitely what would prevent me from putting him higher. The whole Rucka Ali thing was it's pretty yikes, if I'm to be honest. Which, of course, led to my Twitter argument with Nate, where we, or I at least, I don't remember if he did or not, typed out, big comments. Or he did a little bit. We typed out big comments, and then he fucking evacuated the argument because I used the word gross. So, Nate, if you're watching, I just want to let you know that there's still a shit ton of bad blood, and if I ever see you, you're getting Antifa punched right in the fucking chrome dome, motherfucker. But yeah, I like Nate a lot. His presence is jovial and fun, and also the Dan soft toilet seat video was very fucking funny. I liked it a whole lot. It was a big $1 Million Extreme ripoff, but so is all of my work, so that's fine. I can live with that. Number 4, I'm gonna have to put Jesse Woods, aka, yeah, I looked in the comments, by the way, you guys said it was funny, so Jesse Woods, aka Endless Jess, aka Enfkajed. I like Enfkajed. He's just changed his whole name to that. Or Endlet G. It's also really good. Yeah, Jess watched his man who has no consistent work schedule, and also probably has something to do with his girlfriend, Boozy Floozy, who I think lives far away from him. But the panel cast is fantastic. His Pirates of the Caribbean video he did was fantastic. I'm definitely a bigger fan of the long form podcasts, I guess, that Jesse does. When he actually showed up on the Procrastinators, he was fine. He did definitely have a few standout moments. There is, of course, the dream of hell. But other than that, it's generally a lot of fun. And I hope he comes. I have not read any of his comics except for the Pokemon one. Shit, I don't remember that. You know, the Mammoth Swine. Shit, what is that called? Fuck. It's on the tip of my tongue. Whatever, forget it. Which was a pretty good comic. But comics are gay and for losers, and I have not really that interested in reading his other ones. On the podcast, however, Ben is probably the best in terms of consistency of being really funny and cool and smart. And I like Ben a lot. I like his aesthetic. I like his voice. He probably definitely has the best voice to procrastinate. Mother's Basement, Jeff, too. No, it goes Hypocrite, aka Gibbocrit, aka Best Hippo Ever. I love his main videos. They are great. I love how free-flowing and cool they are. On the podcast, actually, he doesn't even do that much on the podcast, but it doesn't fucking matter because his personality is lovable in everything he does, and he just adds a certain warmth. He's a lot more active on like the podcast, where he is very good as well, and just generally,